We are now going to look at the digestion of food, specifically the chemical digestion of food in the mouth. First, we're going to select the organ of the digestive system where we are operating, and it is the mouth. Then we are going to select a pH where we want to work. Now, do you remember what the pH in the mouth is? It is neutral. So, we set mouth, we set the pH to neutral, and now let's place different foods. Let's place a piece of meat. These are the molecules found in meat. We have proteins, we have fats, and we have water molecules. So in this piece of meat, we want to digest fats and proteins. Does any of this digestion happen in the mouth? This is what we want to investigate. So let's start. We have three enzymes here: lipase, which is an enzyme that acts on lipids, protease, which is an enzyme that acts on proteins, and carbohydrase, which is an enzyme that acts on carbohydrates. So let's start with lipase to digest the fats. We see that lipase isn't actually working here. I can't add this enzyme to this medium. Why do you think that is? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the pH. Lipase does not work in neutral pH. So there's no digestion of fats in the mouth. Now let's try to digest the proteins. Let's add protease. The same thing happens. Protease does not work in neutral pH either. Now let's try carbohydrase. It was added to the medium because carbohydrase works in neutral pH. However, it didn't digest anything because there was no substrate for it. Meat does not contain carbohydrates. So, there's no digestion of meat in the mouth. Let's try bread. Again, let's add lipase. We can't do that because this is a neutral medium. Same thing with protease. And now if we add carbohydrase, look, the carbohydrase is digesting the starch. So we have digestion of bread in the mouth. Specifically, it is the digestion of starch. Now let's try butter. Butter contains only fat and water. Let's add lipase to digest the fat. Remember again, we don't have lipase action under neutral pH. Protease also isn't added to neutral pH. Carbohydrase works in neutral pH. However, there is no substrate for it in butter. There is no starch here to be worked on. So, what do we conclude? In the mouth, we only have digestion of carbohydrates under neutral pH using the enzyme carbohydrase. Of these three foods, we can only digest bread in the mouth.